Hi, boys and girls. Thank you for joining me again for Science Today, where we are learning about all different kinds of animals in their animal groups. And we are learning about what makes that group of animals special and different from another group of animals. Yesterday, we learned about that awesome group of animals called amphibians, and they could do some really special things like breathe through gills when they're born, and then when they grow up, they grow lungs to breathe so they can be in the water and on the land. Today, we're going to learn about a new group of animals. Okay. And the new group of animals that we are learning about is fish. And you might say, oh, I know about fish. I know a lot of different kinds of fish and what fish are like, but hopefully I can teach you something new about fish today. So first we're going to start out with a little picture showing some kinds of fish. So these are some fish that you might know about, or maybe you don't know about some of them. Okay, and we're going to learn about what makes a fish a fish. Okay, so on our chart, I'm going to add some pictures as we talk about these different things. I have 5 things that makes a fish a fish. Okay, so number 1, it says fish have a backbone. They are vertebrates. Just like you and I, we have that bone running down our back that we can feel. A fish has that backbone also, that bone running down their back. Okay, so a fish is in that vertebrate group. Okay, number 2, let's see. Fish. Most have scales and a layer of slime. Ooh, so most fish, if you pick them up to feel them, they would have scales on their skin, and they also have a layer of slime. So fish would feel kind of slimy, not just wet, but slimy too. And this is a picture of some fish scales up close. Okay. So we'll add that to our chart. So if you've never felt a fish before, just know that it's very slimy, okay? And the next thing that makes a fish is that fish are cold-blooded. Ooh, so we are warm-blooded. We make our own warmth in our body. A fish, just like those reptiles and amphibians, are not warm-blooded. That means that whatever temperature their surroundings are, that's the temperature that their body is going to be. If they want to get warm, they have to get some sunlight or some warmth from the water around them. But if they're in cold water, their body's going to be very cold. And that's why I put that snowflake and that thermometer that's blue and it's way down at the bottom, because that shows cold on a thermometer. And it's way down at the bottom. Okay? And the next thing that makes a fish is that fish most hatch from soft eggs. Ooh, so fish can hatch from eggs. Different than us, right? We are alive when we're born, but fish hatch from eggs, and they are soft eggs. Did you ever feel a soft egg before? I know that the eggs that I eat for breakfast sometimes, they have that hard outside shell on them, like a bird's egg, but a fish's egg is different. It is soft. So take a look, and here's a picture of a fish hatching out of a soft egg. And a lot of times, I know, not always, but a lot of times those eggs are kind of see-through, that we can see inside of them. See how this egg, we can see that fish growing inside? And this one, the little fishy, is popping out of that soft egg. If we were to touch them, they would kind of feel a little bit like jelly. They would not be hard like a chicken's egg. Okay? All right, and the next thing about fish is that fish use gills to breathe. So when a fish is breathing, it actually does breathe oxygen, but it breathes oxygen from the water. That is pretty cool, okay? And it uses a special body part called gills. When we breathe the air, we breathe with our lungs inside of our chest. A fish has gills, and I'll show you 2 pictures of gills. Right here is a picture of the fish's gills, where it breathes through, okay? That's an up-close picture of a fish's gills. And the gills take water in, and it takes the oxygen out of the water. Did you know that there's some oxygen in water? Not a lot, not as much as in the air around us, but they can get that oxygen out. And if you take a look at this shark picture, right there is circled are those lines on the side of his body. Those are his gills that he breathes in the water with. So fish can survive in the water, but they cannot survive if they come out of the water like an amphibian. Remember, amphibians can come out of the water because they grow lungs to breathe. Fish do not have lungs ever in their life. They only have gills to breathe through, so they have to stay in the water to survive. Okay, so we learned 5 things about what makes a fish, and today your job is going to be a little bit different in your journal. Now, first, make sure you click on all those other links to learn a little bit more about fish, okay, and different kinds of fish. But today, in our journal, you're going to find a new clean page. You are going to draw a fish, any kind of fish you want, and you are going to label at least 3 body parts on your fish. So today you're not just drawing 3 different fish, you're going to make a diagram. And remember, a diagram is just a picture that has different parts labeled. And on your fish, whichever kind you want to draw, you are going to label at least 3 different body parts. And I know we learned about one part of their body that's pretty important, the part that they breathe through. So that could be one that you label on your fish. But you decide at least 3 body parts to label. Do your very best job, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. Bye-bye.